All right, so we're loading up Monster Maze. Today is all about bombs and explosions and detonators. We're going to need three things today. We need the detonators, those are little like plunger type things. And then we need the bombs. We also need explosions. It's a little bit, it'd be nice if we had an explosion when things blow up, instead of things just magically disappearing when the bomb goes off. And then we have a couple of questions we need to answer. What happens when the player touches a bomb? Does it go off or what? We don't know. So we have to decide that today. But so far, these are our sprites. Where's our monsters? Uh-oh, our monsters are missing. Uh-oh. Maybe this isn't the right game. Hang on a second. Yeah, it looks like I'm missing some stuff. Let me pause here. Yeah, it looks like my monsters disappeared. Maybe I forgot to save the game last time. I don't know, but they're not there. But anyway, I don't think that affects us too much on the detonators and the bombs. I'll add the monsters back later. So we need the sprites for those things. So the first one, I suppose, is our detonator sprite. So we're going to create one, create sprite. We'll go to import that sprite. And the place we go to grab that is in our S drive. Although I'm a little confused about that as well. So here, go into Game Design 1, and then here, this one, Maze Games. We want to go to Sprites, I think. And we're using Maze Platform, that one. So a lot of nice sprites in here. What are we doing? We're trying to find a detonator. Let's see if they have one. There's one. There's actually two. There's detonator on and detonator off. We're just going to use, well, we're going to have two of them. Yeah, I'm used to these detonators actually being two frames where one is an animated sprite. Let's see if this is animated. So we'll say open. Now it just has one frame in it. See that right there? I would really like it to have the other frame in there. So I wonder if we can import a frame. I don't know if we can. I think we'd have to edit the image though. Here, oh boy, image. Add frame. So there's a new frame. But how do we get something into it? Well, I guess we could just make it. So what am I looking for here? I'm looking for a way to select it. So I'm just selecting the image. I'm copying it. I want to put it in this frame here. But you got to be careful when you do this because you want it to line up. I was hoping it would still have the box in it, but it doesn't seem to. This one goes all the way to the bottom, I think. Okay. And then, I don't know how to get rid of this. Yeah, see how they're not lined up? So let me try this again. We really want these to line up. So I think it was up and to the left. Let's see if these line up now. Yeah, they look like they line up. Okay. And then we want to show what would happen if the detonator was pushed down. So we're going to try to create that here. I don't want to move it though. I want the selection box without moving. Okay. So I'm just grabbing this, or maybe what I first do is I chop out this part. And I say delete, maybe, yeah. And then I'm going to move this part down to look like it's been pushed down. Okay, so we're just adding it there, okay? So something like that. Okay. So if we play the animation, it'll just wildly go up and down. Looks kind of silly. But we're not using the frames for an animation. We're using it to show the different state of the detonator. So again, go back out here. Make sure you shut off the animation speed. We really don't want it to animate. So make sure to put it at 0. Because the frames aren't there for animation. And we're going to call this one Detonator. And now we have a nice detonator sprite. So that's what's going to make the bombs explode. Next, we need a sprite for the bomb itself, I guess. So we're going to create a bomb sprite. Here I get that error you get when you're using OneDrive. Oh, this is interesting. Why would I get it here? Because I'm not using OneDrive. I don't know what's going on there. Okay, so we go Sprite, and we're going to call this one Bomb. Now, make sure that when, say, if your parents ask you, you know how your parents ask you every once in a while, hey, what did you do at school today? Don't tell them, hey, so we made bombs today at school. Okay, so yeah, just be careful when they ask that question. These aren't real bombs. Just point out that they're in a video game. That way I won't get calls from home from parents. Okay, so let's grab that bomb. There's our bomb. Reminds me of my jokes. They tend to bomb. And here we go. We have our bomb object, or bomb sprite at least. And that's fine. It doesn't really need to do anything but just be there, so that's all we need. And then the final thing is our explosion. Now we have a couple of choices here on the explosion. We can decide how big we want our explosion to be. Let's see what explosion choices we have. So this is going to be our explosion. And let's see what kind of explosion things we have available. Here, let's explore. We want explosion. I don't see explosion. Do you? I see explore. There's explorer. Okay, so we're looking for, maybe there's a fireball or something. I thought there was an explosion here somewhere. Yeah, it'll be really small. You won't see it because it's an animated image, so it's kind of small.
Yeah, it's below the Explorer left.
Oh, before Explorer left. Do you see it?
No, it's like
Okay, that's that one. Oh, down. Okay, there it is. Explosion, yeah. Yeah. It looks like we only have one size. We have fireballs, but explosions we don't. So we're just going to use that one. And again, it's an animated sprite because you want to show the explosion. If you play it, it's an explosion, right? Okay, so that's what it looks like. That speed looks pretty good. So now we have an explosion sprite. Okay. We'll shut that off. Okay. So that's all we need then for what we're trying to build today, those three sprites. So let's first create the bomb object. That's pretty straightforward. All it really has to do is sit there until somebody presses the detonator. So object bomb. And we'll use our bomb sprite. Now the question is on this bomb sprite, do we make it solid or do we make it a child of wall so that the player can't walk through it? What happens if the player touches the bomb? Should the bomb blow up? I think in this game it would be best to just say the bomb is there. You can walk around it, I guess, and not get killed. As long as, I always like putting a detonator right next to a bomb just to see if anyone would actually press the detonator when they're standing right next to the bomb. So that's always funny. But I think we should make the bomb just this thing. How do the monsters react to it? They'll just walk right over it. They only actually interact with anything is when they turn into explosions, and that's when we'll have them be active. But you're the game designer. If you want to make the bombs a wall, you can. So you have to get rid of the bomb to go past it, and then the monsters will bounce off it just like it's a wall. So you get to decide how you want to treat this. But I'm kind of copping out here. I'm just saying, it doesn't do anything until you explode it, I guess. And that's all you need. It has to exist. That's all. And then next is the detonator. Let's do that one. So detonator. See if I can spell it right. Detonator. That's how you spell it. And we'll use our Sprite for that. And the way this will work is if the player walks over it, then it will push it down. Okay. And it will trigger an explosion. But the explosion won't be anywhere near the detonator or where the explorer is. It'll be over where all the bombs are. And we probably want, if we have more than one bomb in the room, we want all the bombs to explode. And if we have more than one detonator, we probably want all the detonators to be pushed down as well, just to be consistent. But I guess we can blow up that bridge when we get there. So let's add our last thing then, is the explosion. Object explosion. And we'll use that Sprite. Now clearly, if anything's near the bomb when it explodes, it should kind of get blown up. You might want to make mazes that have no way of getting to the exit unless you open up the wall with an explosion or something. So maybe an explosion will take out walls. I think we're going to do that in this game. So anyway, we've got our three objects now. Now we're ready for the next step. Well, let's make a room now that has a bomb in it so we can test it out. Now this might seem a little bit strange, but in my test room, I really want to make sure that the bomb blows up everything around it. So what I try to do is I make a room. It seems silly, but I make a room that's surrounded by walls, or a spot that's surrounded by walls, and I put a bomb in the middle. The question is, why do I do that? It's because I want to test all around the bomb to see if all these things get destroyed. And so if I put walls there, I'll be able to see if they're not there after the explosion, they got destroyed. Okay, so that's a good test. We also need a detonator here and there. So I'm going to put maybe a detonator here, another detonator over here. I put in two detonators so I can see if when I push down one, the other one gets pressed down automatically as well. And then I might also put another bomb in, because I want to make sure that all the bombs get destroyed or turn into explosions, not just the one over here. So maybe put that in your test room. Now typically you make your first room a test room while you're in development. That way you put all the objects that you've created in this test room, and then you can test all the objects there. But you usually take this room out before you release the game. Certainly you don't want to overwhelm the user with all these objects that they don't know anything about. So this is only for like development purposes. And so now we have to ask ourselves the question, what triggers the bombs to go off? And the answer is, I guess, when the player collides with the detonator. So the bomb's way over here. This is the first time that we've had an interaction between two things where the interaction really doesn't affect, well, it does affect the detonator a little bit, but it doesn't really affect things. It's something, there's this third object that it affects. How do we do that? Okay, so let's try that. I guess we need a collision event then between the explorer and the detonator. So we say collision. We're on the explorer, so we say with the detonator. What should happen when the explorer hits the detonator? Well, we'll do that in a second. If we play the game right now, we'll notice something really kind of silly. Oh, maybe not, actually. We shut off the animation, so maybe not. What is going on? This is very weird. Yeah, so it's not doing that. I was thinking these might be animating already, but I remember we set the animation speed to 0, so they shouldn't be animating. So that's good. I can still walk around. Yay. If I touch a bomb, it doesn't matter. Ooh, I'm behind the bomb. That's bad. How do I fix that? Anybody know? Oh, I'm also behind the detonators. Why is that? Well, they're both on the instances layer, right? But the problem is the order they were created in the room. If you look over here on the left, since I just created them, see how the bomb and the detonators and the other bomb are all created after the Explorer? We want that Explorer to be created last, so we can pull that all the way to the bottom. So I'm clicking and I'm dragging. And we want to put it right there on the bottom. Okay. Now when we play our game, when we walk over the bomb or the detonator, the player walks in front of it instead of behind it. So I think that looks better. So here and there, yeah. So that looks pretty good. Okay. So now what? Okay, so we've got the rendering figured out. But remember that in other levels too. You want to make sure your Explorer is last if you want that to walk in front of everything. So the collision event between the Explorer and the detonator again. So let's go there. What do we want it to do? Well, it's really kind of simple, actually. Is we want to change the bomb into an explosion. So we say instance, I guess, instance change. So the word is instance. Change instance. That's the same as object. Remember, instance means object. What do we want to change? Well, we want to change not the detonator, not the Explorer. We actually want to change all the bombs. So here we actually select bomb. What that means is if there's any bomb anywhere on this level, it's going to change that one. Well, wait. That's what we're changing to. We want to. What are we changing from? Okay, so let me get this right. We collide. What do we want to change? I guess all the object bombs. Well, no, that's not right. We want to change into an explosion. So, well, let me think. Hang on. This is what the reason I get confused here is that what are you changing? We're trying to change all the bombs into explosions. So how do we choose all the bombs? I guess we would say, yeah, bombs here for this thing. You know, what does it affect? And then what do we change them into? We change them into explosions. Okay, so let's try that. And you'll note that something kind of funny happens when we do that. So here I am. I'm walking over the detonator. And notice how my bombs change into explosions. But you notice that the explosions keep going off over and over and over again. That's not really what we wanted. We also noticed that our plunger didn't go down. Okay, so that's a problem too. So let's solve the problems one at a time. First, we'll solve the plunger problem. How do we do that? Well, if we hit the detonator, we also want to change the sprite, I guess, or the frame, I guess, we're on. So we would say, ooh, wow. What do we say, frame? There's no frame. Sprite. Yeah. So we do this one. Change set sprite? No. We want to change sprite. Yeah, I guess it's this one, set sprite. We're not really resetting the sprite. We're still using the exact same sprite, but we want to use the first or the second frame. Remember, the frames are counted starting at 0. So we'll say 1 there. But we don't want to just change this sprite's frame to 1. We want to change all the detonator sprites to 1. So we would say, object detonator. So with all the object detonators, we want to change the sprite to the down, or the frame that shows like the plungers down. So let's try that. And our hope is that we get this plunger to go all the way down. Okay, so let's try it. Here. Yeah. See how that I changed this plunger, but it also changed it over here. And that's what we want. Now, should the plunger go back up after we walk over it again? And the answer is no. Once it's down, and all the bombs go off. But our bombs are still exploding over and over again, and we have to change that. So how do we stop, then, the bombs from blowing up all over and over again? And the answer is, at the end of the animation, we want to get rid of the explosion, right? So what we say then, we go to the explosion object, and we add animation end event. Or if you remember that one, that's under Other, Animation End. That's what we want. So at the end of animation, we want the explosion to destroy itself. So we do that. And we say destroy self. Is it self? Yes, it is self. Got to get some water. Okay, so let's see if we've got the explosions not repeating over and over again. If I walk over the detonator, hopefully it just happens once. Okay, so we got that fixed too. But we still have a problem. What's our problem? Anybody know? Well, yeah, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't destroy anything. What's the good of having an explosion if it doesn't blow things up? So we want to get rid of all of these blocks. Okay. Yeah.
So, my plungers on our detonators are still moving.
So moving up and down. Yeah. So what I would say is you want to double check. If your plunger's still moving up and down, you got to make sure that on the sprite itself here, make sure to shut off the animation speed. Otherwise, it'll keep going over and over again. It probably starts that way, just going up and down. So make sure you set that to 0. That way they won't move. Okay. So now then, we have to destroy some stuff. Because they're explosions, right? You need to destroy stuff. So how do you get rid of those walls? Well, it's kind of a challenge. Resume here. All right, so what we need is the ability to destroy things out of position relative to wherever the bomb is, I guess. Where do we do this destruction? It would be probably good to destroy this at the end of the animation of the explosion. We want all these things to go away. So we already have that event, right? Animation end for the explosion. So we go to the explosion object, animation ends. We want to get rid of the explosion so it doesn't keep repeating. But we also want to get rid of all the squares around the explosion. So here we type the word destroy. See this one here, destroy instance? But this one, destroy at position. This is the one we need, okay? Not only do we want to destroy the explosion, but we want to destroy everything around it. Now remember, the explosion has the same origin as the bomb, so we're good with that. So if we want to get rid of the top left corner, we've got to move minus 32 pixels relative to where the explosion is. That'll get us in the first, column, let's say. And then how do we get into that first row? We would subtract 32 from that as well. So whatever's at that one spot, whatever object is at that one spot, we want to blow it up, or we want to get rid of it. And so we'll do it that way. Now we made a little chart in class so that we can keep track of all this, but we'll just put, you'll see all the numbers here. So we have to do this 9 times, right? But we have to get the right coordinates. So now if we want to do the first square in the, or the second square in the first column, we would say negative 32. We're still moving to the left relative. But the y coordinate would be 0 because it's at the same vertical position as the bomb or the explosion. So we destroy that. And here then we want to do the bottom left corner. So again it's negative 32 because we're moving left. But remember y is upside down, so to go down one row we have to add 32 to that location. So we just blew up, or we got rid of the first 3 squares. Let's just try to see if that actually worked out. So if I go here, my hope is that we will have destroyed at least the first column. Let's see if that works. Boing. Not quite, okay? Right? We got rid of the first 2, but not that third one. Wonder what went wrong. Yeah, I said positive 32 here. That should work. Why didn't that work? Oh, I forgot to say relative here. See that? Okay, that's important to put that there. But we can go look at it again, and then we can see that we've destroyed, after the explosion's done. That didn't look very good, though, did it? You saw the explosion end, and then the things went away. I didn't really like that. So we might do it at a different time, yeah. Oh. Yeah, I think that would be better. Yeah, I think you're right about that, Abby. So let's look at that. So wait to destroy this thing until after. The other option we have is we could destroy everything when the bomb is about ready to turn itself into an explosion. So everything gets destroyed, and then you see the explosion. But let's try this and see if this works better. Okay, so to try again, let's see what happens. Boing. Yeah, it's still kind of waiting too long. Huh. Okay, so we'll wait on that one because we've got to do some other fancy things that might take care of this problem. So I'm going to move it back to the top, and then I'm going to keep going, just destroying everything around, including the middle one. So the next coordinates you would need, we're doing the second column. For the second column, the x offset is just 0 because it's in the same column as the bomb. So we say 0. But here for y, we want to start with negative 32. For y, yeah, negative 32. And then here, we're trying to do the middle one, right? That's where the bomb's located, but we're going to destroy that too. We'll say relative. Yeah, don't forget the relative check marks. They're important. Except when you don't add anything. I guess these could be relative or not. Since you're adding 0, it doesn't really matter. And then here, x would still be 0, but y would be positive 32. That would get the last square. And we try this, and what we'll notice is there's a problem. Okay, there's a problem. Hopefully you'll see the problem. Let's see. So here we go. We're just about to hit the plunger. Here we go. Well, that seemed fine. What was my problem? I've had this problem in the past where when I destroy that middle thing, it destroys the bomb or the explosion, and you don't actually see the explosion animate. Let me try that one more time. What I want to make sure is that we see an explosion. If we destroy everything, even the middle one, we might destroy it before we get a chance to show the thing. But we're waiting till the end of the animation. So maybe that's why it works. Yeah. Okay. So that actually works. Wow. Okay. That's going to save us a ton of trouble if we can get away with doing that. I don't know. Okay. Usually, in the past, I've had to move the bomb off screen, destroy everything, move the bomb back on screen, and then let it explode. But it doesn't look like we have to do that here, which is cool. So we're not quite done yet. We still need to do the last three in the next column. So again, you could probably figure these out, but I'll help. All of the x's are going to be 32 because we're moving right of where the bomb is. So we say that in the top right corner, we would say negative 32. Again, y is upside down. Is there a negative there? Yeah, negative 32, relative. Two more to go. Here, our x is still 32. Our y is going to be 0, because that's that middle one on the right side. And then finally, the last thing. And notice we're not specifically destroying walls. We're just specifically destroying anything. So here would be 32 for x and 32 for y, relative. Now when we run the program and test out the bomb, yeah, so visually not great, okay, because the bomb goes off and then the walls then disappear. I don't know if I like that. Let me try one more time. So my problem is timing, right? I go here, I wait till the end of the animation, and then it disappears. Well, I guess that's not bad. Yeah, let's just stick with that. But now what we have to do is we've got to try it out to see if we can blow up a monster at that position, the bomb, or maybe around the bomb. So, I lost all my monsters, I think, I forgot to save it, I guess. So I'm going to quickly make a monster. Okay, I'm going to make the, I don't know, left-right monster. I think we use a ghost, right? Where's that ghost? Ghost. Gem. Gone. Ghost. There's ghost. Gem down. Floating ghost. So let me just quickly make the ghost. Now I've already done this. You guys have already done this, but mine disappeared, so I have to remake it. I did that already. Okay, so there's our ghost, and then we're going to use that sprite. Then why is my sprite not changing? I keep retyping it; it doesn't change. If I click outside, it changes back to 7. Do you see that? I'm not sure why it's doing that. No clue. Okay, so I'm going to delete this and try again. Trying to create the ghost sprite, and it's not liking it. Maybe what's going on is that the ghost already exists. I know I made it. Maybe it's just in the wrong place. So here's my floating ghost. Where's my floating ghost? Gem, ghost. There it is. Floating. Oh. Huh. Okay, let's see if I can click off of it. Yeah, looks like it worked. Yeah, so something was up with the editor. It's very strange. Okay, so we have our ghost. Now I create the ghost object. And we use the ghost sprite. And for now, that's good enough. Okay, so now we have this ghost. We want to get it moving. And again, we've already done this. This is just for me because I lost my stuff. So we want to set the direction randomly to either left or right. And we want to give it a speed. I think we decided 8 was our speed. We say 8. And then the last thing is when it collides with the wall, we want to collision with wall. We want it to go back. Yeah, question. Was it 4? Was 8 too fast? Okay, yes. So I'll change that. So hits the wall. We just want to reverse our horizontal direction. So you say reverse. Yeah, this one. Okay, so I think I'm back to where we were horizontally. Okay, so we set up some constants for this, didn't we? So right now mine's hard-coded, but again, I'll have to go in and fix all this. So our speed, yes, is 4. Okay, forgot to set it. And then I got to put one in the room. I always do that. I make it and I forgot to put it in the room. So I'll put one in the room. And this will be a little different. This room I'm going to create is to test to see if the ghosts get destroyed. So I'm going to create a little bit larger room, or a little bit larger area here. I'm going to choose the wall. Here, hold down the Alt key. And I'm going to make it, instead of 3 wide, I'm going to make it 5 wide, I guess. Why would I do this? Let me show you. So what I'll do here is I want to take in 2 ghosts. I'll put one there and one here. And my hope is that if I put a bomb in between them, they'll get destroyed like the walls do. Okay. Now these walls won't get destroyed because they're 1 away. But what I'm trying to check to see if the ghost gets destroyed. So no matter which square the ghost is in, or if they're partially in squares, I'm trying to see if that ghost will actually get destroyed. So let me try it. Because we specified that anything, it could be walls, could be anything. Anything near the bomb needs to get destroyed. So I'm just trying to make sure. Notice that they didn't get destroyed. So why is that? I'm really not sure. Yeah, I mean, they're not specifically aligned with the grid. But there's another thing about the ghost that we didn't really specify very well, and it is here in the sprite. If we look at the collision mask, you'll note that it's not the whole thing. See that? It's only partially there. And so for this to work out, maybe we caught it and it's checking this spot, and that's not where the ghost is because the collision mask is skinny. We want to make sure that on all our sprites in this game that the collision masks are all set to full image. Okay. Okay. See if that works. Yeah, that works for all the frames. So set that to full image. Remember, that's how it determines collision, but that also determines position too. When it goes to look to see if something's there, it looks at the collision mask. It doesn't look at the origin or anything. It's just the collision mask. So let's try this again, and we'll see if the ghosts go away. Now, my hope is that they do. If they don't, then I have no clue how we're going to fix this. So here I'm going to try this again. And we say, go. Yeah. See how the ghost went away? We'll try it a couple more times just to make sure I didn't get lucky. I still don't like it waiting so long to destroy everything, though. You notice that? I'm going to stop this. Yeah, so maybe I don't like that. So where would we have to move all this stuff to if it wasn't where the ghost or where the when the explosion stops? Yeah, so we're getting the ghost now. So the only problem there was the collision mask. Okay, it really wasn't anything else. Once we make the collision mask full image, then no matter where the ghost is, if it's anywhere near the bomb, it's going to get exploded. So now we can get rid of ghosts, and we can use that as part of our puzzles in our game. Right, in our game, we can put bombs near ghosts, and if you really have to get rid of this ghost, they have to time it right, so that the ghost goes away, so that you can get in the hallway or get to the door or something. Okay, so that's a pretty cool dynamic. Anything else on bombs and detonators? I'm trying to think. Yeah, I'm still thinking about the timing, but generally that's pretty good. We've got all the detonators being detonated. That's good. We have all the bombs being detonated. A funny thing you might want to watch out for. Now, we've already added lives to our game, but another way to die, I suppose, is to do this. And you can test the intelligence of your player if you do this, right? Okay. Probably detonating a bomb next to yourself is a bad idea. Okay, so if I go over here and I detonate it, I ended up deleting myself. No, I didn't delete myself. Ooh, why not? I think it's the same problem we had with the ghosts, right? Our collision mask on the Explorer maybe it's too skinny as well. So let's look at that. Oh, that'll be on the Sprite actually. So you go to the Explorer Sprite, and we check the collision mask, and sure enough, it's skinny too. Okay, so you want to make that full image. Okay, and now we try this again. Now when it goes checks to the left, that top left corner, there'll be the collision mask there, and we'll see it. Okay, but what do you do now? You've just destroyed yourself. Oh, that was odd. Maybe I was looking at it funny. It almost looked like to me, maybe I just saw it wrong. Looked like the detonator moved over one. That was funny. Okay, so I'm here. Boy, yeah, getting destroyed that late. Yeah, so we're having trouble. What bothers me is that the destruction is happening too late. It should happen sooner. But now we've killed ourselves, right? But the game is still running. You can't control anything. What do? You have no player. So here we blew ourselves up. It's not because we collided with we didn't die because we collided with a ghost or an enemy. We collided because we were standing next to a bomb when it went off, okay? So we have to handle this situation. What do we do? What do you think should happen here? The answer is, well, I guess we have to check all the time to see if we blew ourselves up accidentally. How do we do that? Well, we could have the Explorer do that, right? Now, our lives are being tracked in the controller, right? We've got this controller that's keeping track of lives. So what we could do is what would be the best place to do this? Yeah, I think it would be best to do this in the controller, right? So in your controller you would say, is there at least one player out there? If there is, you're good, but if there's no player there, it counts every frame. How many players are there? If there's no player, then you lose a life, just like you do if you do a collision with a monster, right? It would have the same logic. Unfortunately, I don't have a controller because my game didn't get saved. But what we're going to have to do, and maybe we save this for next time, is we have to handle the situation where you blow yourself up accidentally. We'll do that next time because then I'll have a controller and all of that. So think about that. How would you solve that problem? And then anything else which would make the game unplayable. One of the things you don't want to do is put bombs next to the edge of the room. Why is that? Yeah, they can walk out of the room and then who knows where they are, okay? Yeah, they can walk around. They come back in the room maybe, but they can't get through the walls. So don't put bombs next to the edges of the room. Yeah. Okay, I'll come over. Okay, so we've got a problem here. We've got this unplayable game now in this weird state. So we'll have to fix that next time. But we did get bombs working, got detonators working. I don't like the timing, like I said. How would I change it if I wanted things to get destroyed sooner? It waits too long before everything gets destroyed. Where would I do it then? I would then do it, oh wow, where would I do this? It would have to be somewhere with the bomb before it gets turned into an explosion. The problem is, what event would you use? Geez, I don't know. The only one I can think of is the destroy event. But the question is, if you're changing objects like we're changing the bomb into an explosion, does that call the destroy event? I don't know. Okay, let's see if it does. Okay, so in this destroy event, I'm going to what am I going to do? I'm going to put a message on the screen. Now, don't do this. I'm just kind of experimenting now. So, no, I don't want to do the script. I want to execute code. Here, and I want to just show that message, that thing we were using. So, show, not debug message, show message. And all I'm saying is, let me zoom in. In my message, I'll say, bomb being destroyed. So we're trying to see if the destroyed event occurs when you change objects. Does it call the destroyed event on the thing you're changing from? I guess is the question. If we see this message, then yeah, we can use this destroy event to destroy everything around the bomb. We'd have to move some code around, but let's just see what happens. I'm going to do this one. Ooh, see that? Yeah, he knows. So see that? It says bomb being destroyed. That means the destroy event is being called, which means then we can attach to that, and we put our destruction code in the bomb being destroyed rather than the explosion ending. Because right now the explosion ends and everything disappears. It's a little too late. It should be disappeared really before the explosion starts, or at least during the explosion, right? So what does that mean for our code then? Oh, it's still being destroyed. Yeah, because we have lots of bombs. Okay, so what does that mean then? Well, right now we have all of that in our animation end event. Can we, let's just try it and see. Okay, so I'm going to select all of this and move it to, actually, I wonder if I can copy this. I'm going to copy this, copy event, and I'm going to put it over on the, I'm going to put it over on the bomb. Okay, yeah. Oh, it does work. Okay, let's try that. Good idea. Okay, so instead of, yeah, so let me get rid of this destroy because we got that question answered, right? So I'm just deleting that message. But now the suggestion was made that instead of the end of animation, just put it on the create event of the explosion. I didn't think of that. That's a good idea. So all we have to do is change this to, instead of add event, we could say change event. We already have everything set up. So instead of waiting till the end, we do it at the beginning. Oh yeah, that's true. So we still need that. So we add back the animation end, other animation end, and then we destroy ourselves. Okay, so destroy self. Okay, so now in this animation end event, we're not destroying everything. We're just destroying ourselves. In the create event, we have to be careful Actually, we might have caused another problem, but we'll see. Here in the create event, we certainly don't want to destroy ourselves, all right? So you get rid of that, because we're doing that later at the end. So don't destroy yourself, but destroy everything around you, okay? Okay, so let's try it. We might have another problem here, but I always think there's another problem, and sometimes there isn't. So here we go. Ooh, that looked a lot better. And it worked, too. Okay, let's go with that. Okay, so what did I do? Just to review then. I love it when students come up with good ideas. Then I don't have to think about it. Okay, so here, we've got our explosion. What we did was we changed our animation and end event. We moved all of our destroying stuff to the create event of the explosion. So that when the explosion gets started, that's when everything gets destroyed, other than the explosion itself. And we wait till animation end before we destroy the self, which is the explosion. Okay? So now the timing is right. And, yeah, the timing is good. And it looks better, I think. I think it looks better. Now, certainly we need to add some sound here to have an explosion sound of some sort, but for now we're just worried about the visual part. So that's enough for today. That's cool. I think we got it going. That's great. All right.